Hi, I read this and I have a lot to say about it. Are you ready to die inside? Great.
I will be spoiling the heck out of it, which is pretty impressive because it's already every bit as spoiled as a 2-year-old Olive Garden Caesar salad that was left under a kitchen sink.
So this 2010 fantasy novel was abandoned in my workplace for several months. My coworker read it, found out they had 7 days to live, and then passed the curse on to me. Then they died. Just kidding, here they are. Let's start with the basic information so I can jump into the nitty-gritty afterwards. So it centers on Robbie, a 6-year-old boy living in Alaska with his 2 unhappy parents. In early spring, he meets his 6-year-old neighbor, Fristine, who's a darling little special manic pixie dream girl who gives Robbie's life meaning. Now, both Robbie and Fristine both have terrible home lives, so they cope by inventing a fantasy world of their own while exploring the local wilderness. And eventually, the line between fantasy and reality becomes so blurred that the reader can't decide whether or not the gods the kids encounter in the forest are real or figments of their imagination. Now, in theory, this sounds like a wonderful idea. My coworker was reminded of Bridge to Terabithia. I at times thought of My Neighbor Totoro due to the themes of childhood wonder and the magic of nature. In addition, the book addresses themes of childhood neglect, addiction, and broken love. Fristine's mom is a terribly sad and lonely young woman whose only effective coping mechanism is the use of recreational drugs at her daughter's expense. She barely knows where Fristine is half the time, and about 2/3 of the way through the book, she stops feeding her. Fristine is 6. And Robbie's parents are finally coming to realize that they shouldn't have gotten married, they're toxic for each other, they want different things in life, and no matter how much they want to save their marriage, they just can't. So for Robbie and Fristine, through all of this, escapism is their only shelter, and their disassociation becomes steadily worse as the book progresses, fueled in part by increasingly negative events involving their parents, and the influence of potentially real supernatural entities that live in the woods, in the dawn, and in their dreams. So it sounds pretty cool, right? Well, it's not. It's warm, because most of the book is set in spring and summer. Just kidding, it's neither cool nor cold. In fact, it's one of the nastiest books I have ever read in my life due to the inclusion of, are you ready? Are you ready for this? Are you ready to die inside? I mentioned this before. It includes inappropriate and creepy writing involving 6-year-olds. When my coworker read this book, they didn't even make it past chapter 4, and despite their warnings, I was not prepared for how creepy this book is, from metaphorical textual innuendos to blatantly inappropriate events. But wait, you might be thinking, could you be overreacting after you just reviewed Under the Banner of Heaven, which addresses child trafficking and abuse? Maybe you're projecting your feelings from that book onto this one. No. I am not. If you get the idea, please skip here, right away. If you still don't believe me and you want to know specific things, then keep listening. Now, I will be providing photographic evidence of some of these things, but most of it I can't. I just can't. I don't want you seeing this. It's weird. It's disgusting. I don't want you seeing it. So 1 or 2 photos of the milder stuff, okay, but the rest of it, just take my word for it. From the very beginning, when Robbie and Fristine first meet, there's a weird, intimate tension between them that's accentuated by very specific textual choices. Fristine's mom casually flashes Robbie while she's wearing nothing but a robe when he visits their house. Robbie gets the idea that women are naturally seductive and like to play with your mind. Robbie and Fristine straight up witness the dream and dawn gods engaging in newlywed activities. Fristine and Robbie get curious about each other. Fristine changes her mind halfway through, says no, and hides her eyes, and Robbie exposes himself to her anyway. And these 2 children get spiritually married by rolling down a hill together while hugging with no clothes on. Hi there, it's me. During the editing process, I had to wash out my mouth with various substances after saying all of this out loud. Now, in addition, the kids decide that the only way they can stay in their fantasy world is by unaliving themselves by burning down a cabin with themselves inside of it. They are unsuccessful for reasons which I cannot tell you, because to be honest, I don't know what happens. The allegory and symbolism breaks down so badly and so suddenly that I can't make heads or tails of the ending. There's a weird flying moose head, colors happen, I think Robbie's dad is having an affair with Fristine's mom, and then there's like a very brief paragraph explaining how they moved on. There's another half of a page left, and then where's the rest of it? The book ends. There's a map, there's an author thing, and then where's the rest of it? It just ends. What the hell?
See you, chump. What the hell?
This man, this thing, this is Rich Shapiro. Shapiro? I don't know. Anyway, he's a writer and a musician who created his own multimedia website and app, fun fact, to collaborate with other artists and share his work.
Boo this man!
His books are frequently given away for free at college campuses and music festivals, so even though I work at neither of those places, that might be how it ended up in my workplace. Maybe it was left there deliberately. Too Far, in particular, was written back in 2010, and you know what? I think he's grown a lot since then. Maybe he issued a public apology and really regrets what he— Just kidding! There's an entire page about it on his website. And mind you, this website is up to date with his most recent writing, so it's not like this was thrown into the atmosphere and forgotten. There's even a Q&A where you discover Rich Shapiro involved his own 6-year-old daughter in this project by having her help with character development.
No! No! No!
But hey, you know what? Maybe I'm just being dumb, because there are a lot of good reviews for this book. Interesting how most of them are from Goodreads. Let's take a look. Oh wow! 2.79 stars out of 5. That's okay though. To be fair, I don't blame Mr. Shaplarplar for wanting to cherry pick only the best reviews to feature on his website. You gotta maintain that image so that people don't realize you're a creep until it's too late and they've already cursed their eyes with your terrible writing. Several of the 1-star reviews did make me laugh and kind of restored my hope in humanity, so I'm gonna share them with you to cleanse your soul. I also found an independent review on the University of California campus newspaper, because apparently yet another college student received this book from a mystery person, and there seems to be some interesting white dust in the little booklet for the CD that accompanies the book, which might give us a hint as to where Rich Shapala's mind was when he wrote about 6-year-olds getting married.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Oh yeah, I forgot. The book comes with a CD to add to the vibes of the story as it progresses. I don't have it with me, sorry, but the music is available on his website, so let's have a listen.
A few moments later.
Okay, I had a listen. Seems to me that the most common motif across the entire CD kind of sounds like a cat wandering across a keyboard. The very first song I kind of liked because it transformed into something that reminded me of 1970s experimental Beatles. It would have been okay if certain notes hadn't been deliberately off-key, which kind of reflects his work, you know, because the book would have been pretty darn good if most of it hadn't been abhorrently creepy. But yeah, there's a lot of acoustic guitar, delicate feminine vocals, some soft notes, and occasional electronic distortion. To be fair, it does complement the book pretty well. It does accomplish its goal of that. It wasn't as abhorrent as I was expecting, so you know what? Credit where it's due. That reminds me, I do need to pay off my credit card bill because it is due with all of the therapy bills that became necessary after reading this book. Like I said, most of his work is given out for free, but there is an option on his website to buy his books. Don't financially support this man. Never financially support this man. Don't let your loved ones support this man. I rate this book negative 1,231 out of 10. In fact, you know what? Forget therapy. I have an idea.